This episode is brought to you by Trailer Park Yard Games, where over 28 games are delivered directly to your party. We park the trailer, you party.
Let's have a chat, talk this and that with BB and Jaisy.
Oh my goodness, can you believe 26 episodes?
You don't say.
We've been doing this for 26 weeks.
Shut your mouth.
Wow. What is this? This is the PB and Jaisy podcast.
Woo-hoo.
I'm Bill Stedham. I'm the lucky bee sandwiched between two beautiful women.
It'd really be a Bill sandwich.
It would be.
Yep.
And to
I'm
my
the
left.
white bread, Sarah Paget.
I'm the wheat bread.
Yeah, and you are?
The wheat bread, JC, George.
Wow, so there we went there. What we wanted to do is, in addition to wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, is actually spend a little bit of time going through the first 25 weeks and talking about our favorite moments over the last 25 weeks. So take it away.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for everyone that's been on. And just a side note, we're always looking for more. So we have a ways to go. We promised ourselves at least a year of this to see how it was going. So we definitely need some more guests. But we've had some really, really interesting people on the show. We've had some laughs and a couple.
We've had some laughs.
We've had some laughs.
Yeah, we've had some laughs too.
We've had some tear jerkers. But I was going to talk about a couple. I know. First of all, I wanted to give a shout out to Julie Short. I know she dropped a copy of her book about organizing and cleaning the house, which was super helpful.
You know, Anne
Did you read it?
Anne made me read it. She sat me down and said, "You're not getting up till you read how to clean the house."
But
Have you implemented anything? Has any of that made it out of your brain?
It actually encouraged me. I'm also reading Marie Kondo, or is it Kondo? Yeah. So I'm actually reading her book too. It kind of inspired me to do like a deep clean. So I'm just going to start throwing stuff away.
Well, it would inspire me to actually talk to our housekeeper and give her some tips.
Oh my goodness. Do not give your housekeeper the tips.
Yes, don't do that.
Okay.
Just a tip.
So, but yeah, Julie was really good about sharing some information on the city, some things we didn't know, how to get involved. And so we really appreciated her stopping by. So that was one that stuck in my head for sure, because I just left there feeling like I knew a little bit more about the community, you know?
And I got to tell you, Jeff, oh my goodness.
He was so good we had to have two.
Yeah, he was so good we had to have two, but he impacted so many people's lives with his story, his story of just addiction and overcoming the road from addiction and how it could be done. You know, that probably meant more to me than any of the podcasts that and they've all been great, but man, that had an impact.
Yeah. And also we've been lucky enough to see him throughout this transformation, where he was and where he is now, and seeing him be fully living out the full potential of who he could be, and offering so much hope to a lot of our listeners. I know that he told me that someone, like so many people had reached out to him, not only just to say, thank you so much for sharing the story, but hey, I know someone who needs to be on the pathway to recovery and needs some tips, or I need tips, things like that. And so that is just a beautiful story in itself.
For sure. And you never know who your audience is, right, until you hear back from them or you get feedback. And those are just the people that responded. But I know his inbox was pretty full the next few days.
Well, and sometimes you'll never get feedback, but you've made an impact in someone's life. And by making an impact in their life, how many other people did they touch? And we never need to hear back on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, it's great on the impact that we've been able to have.
For sure.
Yeah. In talking about transformations with Jeff, it reminds me of the episode that we had with Michael Paget, who
the
is
sexiest guy we've had on this podcast.
Sarah's first husband.
As of the recording of this episode.
That was the first time that I had actually even heard him talk about his growth in faith through,
For sure.
I mean, I guess kind of 75 Hard kind of propelled him into that. And so that was a huge testament.
For sure.
Very, very cool.
You know, and I've known him for a long time, nowhere near as long as Sarah has, but to actually see the transformation in the amazing individual that he's become, it's just absolutely fantastic.
Well, and then we had totally off the wall Taylor.
Oh,
We had him twice too.
Airstreams.
We could not contain it. We had the one with the Airstreams. We had the one with the.
I feel like
where
it's
we were talking
Friends.
about
You know
dude
how they say
shoes.
like the one with the episode's always called the one with. We had the one with Airstreams, and it could not. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but I could not get them to stop talking about Airstreams.
Airstreams are great. You know,
Get Bill specifically to stop talking about.
We would like
his-
transition to like childhood
Yes.
hunger or whatever, saving children, and then Bill would be like, "Oh, by the way, speaking of Airstreams, like
Yeah.
no one is speaking of Airstreams."
Bill's
I took
Airstream.
no regrets to strategic planning this week.
The only regret we have is that you brought it up in the beginning.
You know, but I want to talk about, not that it's a transformation, but it's a complete blossoming of an individual. And that's Lafayette. And
He was our first guest, right?
He was.
he
He
was.
was the first one that took a chance on us.
He took a chance on us, but he was absolutely amazing. And we've been blessed or privileged to watch Lafayette from the first day of him walking in this office to where he's at today as a published author, as a
Not an
producer.
Arthur. He's not
His
an
name
Arthur.
is Lafayette. He is not an Arthur.
Wow. But, you know, he produces movies. He's just an amazing all-around individual in addition to being a top producing realtor.
I really like that he talked about being cultured and how we sometimes live in these little boxes and we don't get ourselves out there. And so that really stuck to me because that's what I'd written in my notes, is just expanding the culture and who you surround yourself with. So that was, I thought was really
Right. And the
encouraging.
understanding of other people and making sure that we understand where they're coming from. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
What about your lovely bride?
Oh yeah, and how to deal with difficult people. And I heard about all
Which she deals with it every day, every morning when she
day of
wakes
her
up.
life.
well, not every day. Sometimes she
She's on
travels.
vacation.
Yeah, sometimes she does travel. Like now,
When you're here with us recording the podcast, she's
Right.
counting the minutes.
yeah, she's enjoying life. It's like the kids being away at the babysitter.
But I think, I mean, for sure you're difficult, but I think just dealing with real estate in the way that she does, and she's so laid back, but she's also very scary if she needs to be, you know,
Yes.
like in a respectful way, not like, I'm not scared she's gonna hurt me.
She's a
but
gangster when she needs to be.
for sure.
Yeah, but she hides it away, you know, initially.
You know,
And she can cook so good.
oh, she's an amazing cook.
She really
and,
is.
You know, we also had Mr. Wyoming on here.
Oh, Terry.
yes,
Terry
Yeah.
Hendricks.
You know,
It feels like so long ago
It
that Terry was
does.
here. He's a big teddy bear.
he is, and he's very humble because he never brought out the history that he has at the University of Wyoming and his great.
I really want to meet
football
his mom. You know, he's talking about how aggressive his mom was.
Yes.
But again, not, you know, in a way that pushed him, and
Right.
especially with football. And I think he said he was, 3 or something, running around with a football. Like, I can't imagine starting something at 3.
Yeah. He was born with a football in his hand.
Yeah.
Started running immediately. We've had pretty much the whole Fight family. We've had Eric Fight, Rachel Fight, Jim Fight, Petey Parker. We've still got to have Deanne on now.
Yeah, let's go back to Eric and Rachel. I mean, talking about raising amazing kids. Here they are. They have 2 Eagle Scouts. They've got 2 more children.
They have
Little-
like 12 kids, and they're all going to be
They're all,
presidents.
yeah.
I think they only have 4.
Oh, okay. They
But-
keep multiplying.
Yeah.
But all 4 of them are.
4, 7, come on.
But all 4 are going to be Eagle Scouts.
And they're all so extremely well behaved. They're,
Oh my gosh,
they're
yes.
amazing parents that have really stewarded their kids to grow to be amazing humans.
You know, we'll come back to Jim and Petey in a minute, but it's just so cool to learn about what Rachel and Eric did. And we really need to introduce them to Mark because
Ooh, yes.
ever
Get
since
them
that
to travel.
podcast, I've been thinking about having Mark set up a trip for Ann and I to Disney World. You know,
I've been watching his Facebook, and that's where he, I think, just recently went, right?
For the
Yeah.
50th anniversary. And then Tom was telling me that right now he's in California at Disneyland. So we went from the world to the land. This guy's just jet setting like crazy.
Now he
Just
needs to go to the Disney store at Parks Mall in Arlington.
Well, I got to
Full
remind
circle.
Mark that when I book my trip, I want dinner in Cinderella's castle. with
yeah,
Ann
he said
and
he's
I.
going to try to make that happen.
Yeah, that's, and we'll go either to Los Angeles or Florida. So, Mark, if you're listening, book it. I'll give you my credit card.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
uh-oh.
And he has one of those really heavy metal cards.
Yeah.
Like the real ones.
That just means it's
Like double black platinum
no,
first class.
no. There's
Whatever.
there's no money on my credit card.
Okay, and then we had we've had a couple people on talking about giving back. So Jacob came on, Jacob Benson talked about Easter seals, which that event was outstanding. I don't remember what the final total was, but they raised a ton of money for Easter Seals.
So one of the things that I've got to do, I sit on the Easter Seals board of directors. I've got to find out why we can't add. Because the event was several weeks ago and we still don't have a final total. But what we know is this, the preliminary total is higher than any event we have done
Wow.
in the history of Judge Fight Company for Easter Seals. They did an amazing job. They changed it up, and he and his team, and let's give props, not just to Jacob, because he gets the props, he was on here, right? But he had two other co-chair people, and I want to give props to them. And that's Francis Cruz out of our Frisco McKinney office, and Rob Kennedy out of our Rockwell office. And the three of them worked together to build an amazing event.
It was so much fun, too.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
It's the first time I ever went to an event and I got to sit there and participate.
And not have to
not be
do
the auction
things.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the event cost me several $1,000s more because I was sitting there and participating. Than when I was
because you were bidding things.
Argentina.
Yeah, we're going to Argentina. My wife's going, or well, by the time this is published, I've been to Nashville to Jared James.
Ooh.
I won a drone, and I got the.
Well, when you say win, you paid for.
Oh, I definitely paid for
Right.
it, and I got this huge donation basket they put in a special room.
Shout out to Allie Hendricks.
Yeah, that you could bid for, and it was the best raffle basket I've ever won.
Wow.
So, in speaking of giving back, Cloud Cover Streets came on. So that was Sarah and Kenneth, and they talked about the people experiencing homelessness. We kind of fixed that.
Got educated on that.
Yes, and they actually, an update for them, by the time, again, this comes out, they're going to have their trailer up and running. They're having a big event at the end of October to raise a bunch of money, and their trailer will be finished, showers and all that.
Yeah,
Yes,
by the
and-
time this comes out, Ann and I are going to smoke a whole bunch of turkeys. And we're going to get them a bunch of smoked turkey that they can give away on Thanksgiving. We're going to be out of town, but we wanted to make sure we got them the product.
That is amazing.
Awesome.
This should be airing the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
As long as Tom does his job.
Yeah. As long as that happens. But so, of course, if you do want to give back or find some way that you can volunteer with Cloud Covered Streets, there's lots of organizations that are doing things for the holidays. Please do get connected, and we'll be sure to put some links in the description box for that too.
You know, and as we always film a few weeks in advance, just so that you know, and the state fair is still going on, just to kind of put it in perspective. And we had an actual carny on.
We did. And I got to see firsthand. So we went to the fair, and Misty and Rob, Misty's his wife, they have, I think, 5 or 6 different booths. And so they walked us around. We got to play some of the games. I got punched in the nose. That was by accident.
By her husband.
Michael was trying to show Terry, same Terry we were talking about earlier, how to swing the hammer, and I got an uppercut in my nose. But I didn't get a black eye.
Black. You had a black guy, Terry.
Terry. I was watching a
But not
black
a black
guy,
eye.
and then Michael gave me a black eye. Anyway, the fair was awesome. Rob and Missy have an awesome operation. They let us kind of run a couple of the games and stuff too. So I had a corny dog.
Did you get people to come in and pay?
Michael and Jeff are better at that than I was.
Were
I
they?
didn't- Yeah.
So did you learn how to win the prizes?
I did. Well, she told us some of the tricks, but I stole it.
You still were bad.
Yeah, I was so bad. So
Well, what I want to know is, did you actually pay so that if you had won, you would have got it?
no, we were just practicing.
Just practicing?
Just practicing, yeah.
So fire and blanks?
Yes. And then also, what about Cassie? We got
Oh
to-
my gosh.
talk about
Cassie, the
Miss
pageant
West
girl.
Virginia, Teen West Virginia?
Yes. So
and she ended up doing Miss Dallas.
Miss Dallas.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of her because she finished in the
She
top
did
10.
great. She looked fabulous. She was totally rocking it. Unfortunately, she didn't win, but she still got her cake balls.
I got to tell you, so we're sitting down at strategic planning that just happened in our company a couple days ago. And all of us, there's 39 of us there in the leadership team, and most of us, 38 of us, are sitting back enjoying a cold beverage, whatever that means to you after we've had a very hard day of work.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero, that's right. There was only one Coke Zero there. And I look up, and here comes this crazy person jogging, and had been running and running, kept running. Guess who it was?
Cassie.
Cassie.
Oh.
You know, she's out there improving herself while all of us are
While she was
drinking.
competing, I literally was eating a pretzel from the concession stand. Like, I'm watching all these girls in their swimsuit competition eating carbs.
Yes, and you told
so good.
I wasn't able to attend, but I've heard that it was amazing.
It was amazing.
full
and
circle.
It was full circle, and it was surreal. And it was
So much
amazing.
fun.
Now, that was not
Loved
Cassie
it.
talking that way. That was some of the other.
But I do have a question. You know, not only did we have Miss Teen West Virginia and maybe the future Miss Texas on our show and Cassie, but we also had Miss Loan Officer America,
Oh,
Michelle
yes.
Creech, the best
Michelle.
loan officer in
It's
America.
Michelle.
Do you want to know a secret? She will not listen to her episode. She has not listened to
She
her
still
episode.
doesn't listen to it?
She doesn't want to.
She's not going to hear all of the embarrassing things that happened?
No, and she probably won't hear this either.
Well, yes, you will, because you know what I'm going to do now that I just heard that is on our Let's Talk Real Estate
You're gonna play the
segments,
episode.
I'm going to start playing portions of the segment right
Force
before
her
she
to
comes
listen to
up.
it.
So I'm going to play like 30-second segments. So it will take all year to hear her whole episode.
Okay, and I have a confession to make. The guy that came on, I totally blanked on his name. He talked about real estate investing. He's a pilot.
Oh, Taylor.
Taylor. Okay.
No,
so we had
something
Taylors.
Taylor. His last name was Taylor.
I just went completely blank. So I'm sorry. You were very interesting. But I totally went blank.
There's Taylor in his name. Tyler Jones.
Tyler Jones. There we go. I knew we
Oh
would
my
come up with
goodness.
it. Sorry, Tyler. It's because we had Taylor also.
Yes,
And
we got mixed up.
But
Pilot.
he started so young investing in real estate, and that episode was really good because even being in real estate, I learned a ton from him.
Well, and look at what he's accomplished and all the houses that he owns today and how he gives back. And it really touched me that he wasn't in it to make the money. He was in it to help people. Still make good investments.
Yeah.
But at a time where, as an owner of a property, you can raise your rents $200 a year and get it. He's not in it to do that. He's in it to take care of the clients and, of course, pay his bills. So that's great. And then speaking of people, can you,
Speaking of people,
yeah,
We're people.
can you believe that we had the fabulous Dr. Faye on our
doctor
show?
in the house.
Oh, Joanne Faye.
So
Amazing.
she finally got to move. You know, they were living with the Steinke's, some other their realtor.
Yeah.
I think they finally got to move.
And
in
now
the
they've
house.
moved into their home. She's doing such a great job with Midlothian ISD.
Well, she is, and I get to see it every day because I live in Midlothian. So you get to see the things that are happening and the spirit of cooperativeness. And, you know, Facebook always brings out all the negative, right? But she's actually been able to bring some of that together. So really cool that we could say we knew her.
We knew her back when.
Yeah, knew her back when.
Humble beginnings.
Yes, I'm still trying to get her daughter and my nephew.
Together.
Yeah. They're both athletes. They both go to Midlothian.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had somebody that came on with just a tear-jerking story and about her child and Gervais with Tori. And what a great story that was.
Yeah, I feel like the story kind of hit me differently just because I've got two small children. And so as she was talking about how she, you know, came to find out what was going on with Bella and all of that, I was just like, I can't imagine, you know, when you first have a baby, it's already stressful enough, especially first time mom. You there's all these different things that you're learning and you just kind of figure things out, and to have that kind of thrown at her and to see how gracefully that she has
resilient.
pulled it off. I mean, she will straight up tell you like, no, it was crazy at the moment,
Right.
but she got through it and she's done so much to give back to the Gervais community and provide so much awareness.
I just love that we have a platform to learn stuff like that because so often if you're not experiencing it, you don't know. And
Right.
So, of course, we don't know on her level, but at least being educated in how that life looks.
Yeah, and also we had Kim Pratt on, who talked about
Cancer
having
survivor.
cancer and having a baby while going through all of this, and Preston basically being a miracle baby, and providing such a blessing that they needed in that hardship of time. Like it's amazing to see the way that the things that we a lot of times can see as horrible, crazy things to be going through, that God can just turn it into a blessing.
For sure.
At this,
Well,
you
and
know.
what was really cool about that, because Sarah and I have known Kim for a long, long time. And what's really cool about that, for many years, when Preston would like go to spend the night at somebody's house, Kim would cry. And we've seen tremendous growth now where they can actually
I think she breastfed
travel.
until he was like 16.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Is he still?
Can we look that up? I don't know. Is that Googleable? Is that a word?
About her specifically, does Kim Pratt still
How long does Kim
breastfeed?
Pratt breastfeed? She's gonna kill
Kim,
me.
we love you and know that. And then
We're going to have the cops called on us about this episode. Speaking of cops.
speaking of cops, we had like one of the coolest guys in the world, Brian Bledsoe, on.
And he had I think he's still losing weight. He looks great. I saw him the other day and he looks awesome. And I can't remember what he told us that day that he'd lost like 75 pounds.
Like an entire Jaisy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Don't bring that
But
up.
also to speak to Mansfield Police Department, there's been a lot of crazy things that have been happening within our community. We had a scare with a school shooting and all of this stuff. And to see how the community has come together and how our police department is really connected with the community to make sure that at the end of the day, our students feel safe, our families feel safe, and all of that. So thank you so much to Mansfield PD and the community.
Speaking of Mansfield PD, as we had said on a few episodes ago, we had a little flood and we had to move out of our office and move into temporary digs within like 4
Which we are at now.
Yeah, we're at now. So like within 4 days, and I showed up the first day, in the morning.
You showed up after everything was moved out.
I did.
Here.
Yeah, I planned that.
He showed up to move one box.
It was called strategic planning because they strategically
placed
planned it so
Yeah.
he didn't have to help
Right.
move.
But
I think he flooded the office.
yeah, not hardly. I would never wish that on anybody. But I showed up at 4:30 this morning to make sure that everything was correct and in check because I've been out of town the last couple of days. And right in behind me came a Mansfield police officer. Wanted to make sure that
You were where you needed to be.
You
You do look pretty sus.
Yeah.
Well,
He probably thought what is this old man doing wandering around? Is this a silver alert?
what I was impressed
Old
with
man
is
in
they
a
knew the
plaster.
facility was vacant, and here they showed up. But then we got challenged to wear our high heels and run with the bow.
Oh yes,
yeah,
Petey, our daredevil. I loved having Petey on. She's so smart, and I feel like she's lived so many lives. She's so well read. She's so adventurous. She's who I want to be.
I felt like I probably
when I grow up.
I could have just listened to her without us talking at all. She could just tell a story. Like she was so captivating.
Right. The way her storytelling ability is beautiful. And she's got so many different types of stories to tell. I could have just picked her brain forever.
We should have gotten a better story about Jim from her.
Well, we could have tried, but the impact that she's had on so many people's lives, and I will tell you, when we were inviting a preacher on, I was concerned.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of the coolest episodes. And
She talked about sex.
yeah, she did. And
Talking about smoky eyes.
I'm going to tell Bruce that he's got to up his game a little
You
bit.
need to tell people who Bruce is. Not everyone knows who your pastor is.
Bruce Prindle is the greatest pastor in the world at First Baptist Midlothian. You got nothing to worry about, Bruce. But I loved listening to her.
It was a little uncomfortable, some of the things we talked about, I felt like after listening. You know what I mean? Like in the moment saying things like sex positions.
What I loved.
And then listening back to it.
What's so great about that is that Whitney, and if anyone ever visits Living Church, it's the best church here in Mansfield, that there is that air of like, you don't feel judged. You don't feel like you need to be something. You can still have that same crazy humor where you're talking about sex and positions and funny stuff like that. And they're just like, all right, cool. We'll go with it.
Well, and it's in wedlock.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Exactly.
Color this awkward for me at this moment.
Do you not know what
I mean,
sex is still? Do we need to have the sex talk?
Yeah.
Oh.
That'll be the next episode.
That'll be the next episode?
I need to bring the Barbies in so I can show
But
you.
we also, Bill had talked about leather boobs when we had the Marciantes on.
That's true.
Googling leather boobs instead of leather boots.
Yes, in his iPad. I could not stop watching. I was like, I don't know if he's going to talk about this or if that was a typo. But I love their stuff. And I actually went online and looked at their stuff. And there was so much that I wanted to buy.
Yes, I love their things. I'm actually wearing one of their shoes, if you can see.
Oh, yeah.
The white Marie embossed loaf.
If you are just listening, Jaisy has on pants. And she
I
just
have
put her foot next to her ear.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Speaking of
I'm
positions.
a contortionist.
I'm so
And now Tom's
confused.
blushing in the corner.
So we also had the owner of the largest Century 21 firm in the state of Texas.
Oh, Jim.
Jim, yeah.
Jimmy.
Which I was really sad that he didn't go by Jimmy as a kid. I feel like
Yeah, you asked him, did you ever go by
here,
Jimmy?
Jim.
And the way he responded was like, no, it's just Jim.
it's always
It's always been Jim.
That I did notice that he was a little sensitive to that.
Well, you don't like being called Billy.
No, I don't. It's Bill. It's always been Bill.
I just feel like little Jimmy. Come on,
Little Jimmy.
Come here, little Jimmy.
Yeah.
But that's sausage, isn't it? Oh, it's
Jimmy Dean.
It's Jimmy
Jimmy
Dean.
Dean.
I probably won't be calling Jim Little Jimmy
Little Jimmy.
anytime in the near future.
Jimmy and Billy.
Yeah, Little Jimmy and Big Billy.
Oh, and you're Jaisy, and I don't have an E. Sari.
Sari?
No, then my phone's gonna go off.
You could call yourself Siri.
Yeah.
That won't work so well.
We've been so blessed, and so I think that's, have we pretty much recapped? Can you believe it's been this would be our 26th episode.
That's a lot.
And that, I mean,
We
that's
have more episodes than viewers. Think about it that way.
That's amazing. So other than sex positions, what's the craziest thing that's happened?
Oh, that's a hard one.
the potato sprouting.
Oh my
The
God.
potato inside of a woman was pretty
If you
crazy.
want to hear a crazy Tales from the Lockbox, please listen to Kim Pratt's episode of the Tale from the
The
Lockbox.
fermented
Which
potato.
I love that was
It
her
involves
tales.
a
I love that was her
it
tales
involves a
blog.
sprouted potato and a vagina.
Yes, and we'll make y'all listen to that.
Yes.
I feel like Taylor, there were so many nuggets in Taylor. I laughed.
The ninja.
I LOL'd
Listening
so many
back, I laughed.
How
a
about
lot,
poor
too.
Anita?
Oh. Well, not poor Anita. She a meanie.
Well,
yeah, if she,
Anita
I wonder-
deserved everything that was coming at her,
we
from what I hear.
only know Taylor's side of the story.
Do you think she?
Anita, if you want to be on the podcast, please reach out to us. We want to hear your side. If you want to come in and advocate for yourself.
We will do a special filming, Anita.
Yes.
It would be absolutely
I need to hear
fantastic.
your
Yeah,
side.
I
of the
need to hear your
story.
side.
Yeah. I feel like she has so many good puns with her name. Yeah, so I don't know. I laughed really hard with him. And
His dad,
his dad is
who
not
is still
dead.
alive. Thank you so much for.
Still alive.
So we're at Sarah put on a golf tournament a few weeks ago. We're at the golf tournament, and Proco's sponsoring a hole. That's who Taylor works for. And I
partly owner, right? Does he?
Yeah.
Which I don't even think he ever said that during his
Yeah, he didn't even name out his own business. It
Yeah.
was completely independent. Maybe he
He's
was
actually-
worried to slander
say
the
it.
name.
Maybe.
No, he is an owner in the company, and we got up there, and Katie's talking, and they're still talking and laughing. They had some Proco workers there talking and laughing about this fact that Mike, Taylor's dad, is still very much alive,
Very much
very
alive.
much involved in the business.
Well, and I think we could have a whole episode, and Tom, you can write this down if you want, of just things that Bill has said.
Oh yes.
no, Bill,
Stuff Bill says.
Or when Bill dressed up as a full-on cowboy, no one asked him to
It
wear
was
this.
a rhinestone cowboy.
Rhinestone Cowboy.
No one asked him to dress that way. We were completely shocked when he came out for
Usually
that
we
episode.
try to coordinate, not like colors, but like if we're gonna, Halloween episode or pajamas or whatever. And Bill just rolled right in on his horse with his spurs.
and it was like 10 in the
With a
morning.
beer.
And a beer.
That was pretty
You
good.
know, you never know what you're going to get from me. Never know.
Oh, we really want to thank all of you devoted listeners, the ones that have been there, our day ones, as we'll say, for listening and supporting us. We love doing, I guess I can only speak for myself. Hopefully y'all love doing it. I love the stories that we've been able to hear, the lives that we've been able to touch, the laughs that we've had.
For sure.
It's been great.
Well, and we've gotten some good feedback. We've gotten some really weird feedback that we've deleted, but most of it has been really good. And I do want to leave us, because it's Thanksgiving, of course, we all know to be thankful. But I would say, focus on some of your traditions this year. Don't take any of our gatherings for granted, because a lot of us didn't get to meet last year. So just enjoy your family and yourself. And that sounds weird. But just enjoy your
Or
family.
enjoy
and-
yourself.
yeah. If you don't have
Sometimes
family, just enjoy yourself.
you got to do what you got to do.
But I really think, last year taught us a lot of things, and it's to not take things for granted. And just being in a room full of people having a good time is so much more fun than it used to be,
Oh, yeah.
because we know what it feels like without it. So that's my challenge to you guys this year, just to enjoy yourselves.
So we've got a half a year. Can you believe we've done a half a year?
That's awesome.
That and we weren't sure we were going to make 4 episodes. We've done a half a year.
Wow.
So
Going strong.
Can't wait to see what the next half of the year is. But my challenge to everybody else is find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Share us with a friend.
Share us with a friend. Give us some reviews. But I'll tell you what, we've got 26 more that we want to do this year. And we need your feedback on who should be in here talking.
For sure.
Let us know what you want to hear.
Right. If you want to be on, if you know someone that you would love to hear their story or you think that they could impact our community in some way, let us know.
This is the PB and Jaisy show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, 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 gobble.
We out.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.